Okay, and we're on. What is up, everyone? It's Alonna with 570 Press, and tonight I am here with CJ Suprxme, um, one of the next upcoming rap artists. So, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So, let's just get right into it. You want to introduce yourself and a little bit about your music as well?
Yeah, I'm CJ Supreme. I'm a 19-year-old rapper. I'm from Scranton. I live in Delaware currently,
Nice.
but a lot of people know me around Scranton. They know I used to intern at Platinum Sound. Shout out Platinum Sound. Fucking love them. They're amazing. All the other stuff. I was at the Electric City Music Conference, 2019, before COVID.
Yeah.
They saw me live there, so I'm a familiar face.
Cool. So Delaware, that's nice. I've been there a bunch of times. I love it down there.
Oh yeah, no, it's beautiful down here.
Yeah, it's way better than Pennsylvania.
For sure, for sure. Now
Yeah.
you do kind of miss it after a while though, because it's like just flat land. It's flat, and then it's like, okay, but where are the mountains at? I'm so used to living in the mountains all my life that it's like
Yeah.
you come to flat land and it's like, okay, this is like a Minecraft super flat world with like buildings randomly placed.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing I love is like the no sales tax. I love that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I just filed my taxes, and living in PA, I didn't get any refunds or anything. Living in Delaware, I did. That's amazing. I love
Yeah.
Delaware just for that. Just for
Yeah,
that.
right? Exactly. Literally just for the taxes. Exactly. Yeah. So, how did you become a rapper?
Oh man. Funny story. Growing up, my family is very musically inclined, stuff like that. A lot of people on my dad's side played in blues, folk music. So I grew up around musicians on my mom's side. My cousin was an artist. He introduced me to SoundCloud when SoundCloud was like a brand new thing. Um, I'm talking like the Blood on the Dance Floor being popular days. Like it's a long, long time ago.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, just the that combination of the two. I've always been musically inclined, super into it. I started playing drums when I was four, my bad, when I was four. And then the rapping came around probably in 2016 when that whole SoundCloud wave took off. I started hearing artists on there, and I was like, "Whoa, this is pretty cool. I like this." And then I started rapping as a joke. And my friends found it, and they were like, "Connor, this is like kind of good. Like you gotta, yeah, start doing this more." I was going by the name Lil Planky, like Plank from Ed, Ed and Eddie, and
Yeah.
my profile user was Plank with a Supreme headband on because I always wore a Supreme headband. That was like my thing. Always wore Supreme, the headband, shirts, hoodies, whatever. And then that eventually turned over to CJ Supreme because my friends called me like, CJ and then Supreme. They'd be like, CJ Supreme, Lil Planky. So then I just took the name CJ Supreme, and it's been history from there.
Nice. But I gotta tell you though, Lil Planky is pretty awesome.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah, I gotta tell you. I mean, I like both names, but I think Lil Planky is pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, as long as it's, the old Plank, because I saw that they're like doing a reboot of Ed, Ed and Eddie, and
Oh yeah.
or Eddie looks like the bean. So I was like, no, I'm out. He literally looks like a friggin' bean because they're doing like CGI animation now, like how they did the most recent SpongeBob movies, and it's gross.
No, I'm talking about the '90s Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's good. So you recently released The Butterfly Effect. What was your songwriting process for that, and did it differ from any of your previous releases?
Definitely. Oh man. So the Butterfly Effect I've been working on since the day that my last album came out, Soul Eater. The day Soul Eater came out, I wasn't even celebrating the release. I went straight back to the studio, started recording over beats that people were sending me and stuff. Um, Totally different songwriting process. The way that I did Soul Eater was I had these melodies in my head and I would hum them. I kind of play them out into GarageBand, which is what I was using at the time. And then I'd put beats over them. very lo-fi kind of feeling music because that's what I was aiming for. I was very into the underground sound with like artists like Nova. Lil Skies was a bit of an influence. Acot, stuff like that. Whereas the Butterfly Effect was very, very much production based. Where I did with the Butterfly Effect is most of these songs on here were produced by me myself because the original plan was to get different producers and have it be this big collaborative project that I could have a bunch of names on. But in the end, I just wanted it to be about me. If it was going to be my story and the story of my life, I want this album to be completely me, to the fullest, like to my mind, you know, and definitely definitely became that. It was very production based. Um, the mixing and mastering is nothing like my other projects. I really took my time with this project. I know a lot of my listeners were very mad at me because it was supposed to drop in August of last year. And I kept delaying it, and I was like, all right, it'll be in September. All right, it'll be in October. Okay, November. And then I just went incognito for like December and January. And then at the end of January, I was like, all right, no more. It's dropping. I got this. And then they were like, finally, it's about time.
You know what? I relate to you because I was in a band and we released we recorded a single back in September, and I kept saying to them, and it was like a calamity of errors, but I kept saying, all right, well, we got the master back in November, let's do it in December. And then it was like, no, let's do it in January. Okay, February, and now it's just releasing next week. And I'm like, you know what? It's about time.
Yeah, like there's only so much you can hold it in before you're like, okay, we need to drop this.
Right, exactly. And then you look back, you're like, oh damn, I recorded that almost a year ago and I have like new stuff already. I should probably drop this.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So I am genuinely curious, what is the backstory to the title for The Butterfly Effect? Because I know it's a movie, it's a book, it's a whole theory type thing, but I want to know your backstory on it.
So the way that the butterfly effect works was basically this idea that, say, a butterfly flapping its wings in Japan could cause a tornado in Kansas. It's just a big snowball effect. And as you listen to the story of the album, it's almost the same way, how one event leads to another bigger event, which snowballs all the way to the end, which is kind of the opposite of a butterfly effect, but the end is where I cut it off and I say, this is it, no more. This is where things change. But the idea that it all grows and creates me as a person, like my ideas and who I am as a person snowballs into this greater picture, was kind of based off the butterfly effect. The first time I ever heard about the butterfly effect was the movie. So I was like, that kind of just stuck with me.
Cool. Yeah, because, I kind of assumed it was the movie because when I first saw it, I'm like, wait a minute, that's a movie. And there's like this whole huge conspiracy theory behind it too, but I'm like, no, I feel like it's probably inspired by the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the turning point that made you decide that you wanted to pursue music, aside from obviously coming from your musical family?
That's a good question. I think the biggest thing that I can remember being a kid was being at my cousin's house, and my cousin Kevin, shout out Kevin, I'm gonna be sending this to him after. But my cousin Kevin was playing Drake around me, and I remember hearing it and just the feeling that it gave me, because I listened to hip hop before that, but when I listened to that album, I think it was Nothing Was the Same. When I listened to that album, it was like, wow, this is awesome. I want to do this. And then after that, I started, doing all that music stuff. And I was like, I'm going to be a musician, whether it's going to be rock, rap, blues, whatever it is. I want to do music. I want to be like these guys.
Wow. See, and I respect that. I love Drake. The first album I think I heard from him was Find Your Love. And I'm really showing my age now because that album's like 12 years old or something, but I have an older brother, so the newest hip hop album would come out, he'd be like, here you go. So it was like, Soulja Boy, Drake, Wayne, all those OGs of the early 2000s. But
Yeah.
Yeah. So how has oh my goodness, how has the pandemic affected you as an artist? Has it made you stronger and more inspired, or the same as you always
I think it made me, I wouldn't say stronger, but it made me more inspired. When the beginning of the pandemic hit, I was very I wouldn't say egotistical, because I didn't like, I treated everybody the same, and I've always just been, you know, don't treat me like I'm CJ Supreme, treat me like I'm like your high school friend or something, you know. But
right?
it gave me in the sense that's like nothing can stop me. Like no one, I'm on my way to the top. Ain't nobody gonna stop me. And I was very driven. And then at the turning point of the pandemic, I'll say when summer starts, um, I went homeless, and that really fueled a lot of different things for me, because it was like this is the point where it's like, am I going to pursue music and go through hell to do it, or am I gonna throw everything away, suck it up, and do whatever? Um, and that kind of fueled a lot in my head to be like, I'm gonna write about everything that I'm going through, which is kind of plays into the butterfly effect when I start talking about being thrown away, feeling like a black sheep, feeling like I have nowhere left to go, falling into an abyss, stuff like that. So I'd say my mentality on how I look at things is a lot different, because seeing how everything was taken from me in just a second just drives me to be a better artist. No time for slacking, but at the same time, appreciating where I'm at and not taking it for granted to be like, oh, yeah, I'm here right now, but I want to be there. It's just like, okay, I'm where I'm at. I appreciate this. I'm just going to keep working, take nothing for granted.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Definitely agree. And that's an amazing story, honestly. And I'm glad that you seem to be, on track and everything and doing what you love. And because you're right, you can't take anything for granted, because sometimes things happen that really open your eyes, and you realize, what's important and what really isn't, and what you want out of life and what you don't.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, changing the subject.
Yeah, it was a bit grim.
Yeah. If you could play any venue anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Ooh, oh, that's a hard one. One time I went to the Electric Factory in Philadelphia. I was seeing Asking Alexandria and Black Veil Brides live. It was like 3 years ago, and that was the craziest place I've ever seen. They get crazy there. Some dude walked out with like his arm backwards, like it was broken from the pit, and I was like, "That's crazy. I like that."
Okay, yeah. I mean,
Like,
you know what? I can get with that.
like it's like a small, not, I wouldn't say small, but like it's an average size venue,
Mhm.
but just the energy there was insane. Um, I think another place I would really want to play would probably be some big festival, probably like Coachella, South by Southwest, something like that. Like those big artist streams, but like venue wise,
Right.
Electric Factory went crazy. I will never ever see anything matching that energy.
See, I've never been to the Electric Factory, but I was at the venue right next door, the Voltage Lounge.
Oh really? Yeah, the
Yeah.
Electric Factory, they go crazy.
Yeah. And you know what? It reminds me of when I went to the last Warped Tour, I saw Motionless in White, and some girl, I don't know what happened, but she had to be carried out of there because her leg was like in reverse. And I was like, that's sad, but you know what? You know what? She went hard. She went hard in the pit.
She got a story to tell now. She's gonna be telling her kids about that.
Hell yeah, dude. Like, I mean, in that moment, I'm sure it's terrifying, but I mean, you got a story now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you could book your dream tour with yourself included, who would you also have on that tour?
Ooh, I'd have to bring Python. Python's my best friend. When I was homeless, I was staying with him. I owe him the world. I owe his whole family the world. That's my uh my second family right there. I'd have to bring Python. He just dropped his album too. To the Moon. It's more lo-fi based. Python. Um, do we have a number of people that I can bring, or is it just one?
No, whoever you want. People you want.
I bring Python. uh, Jericho, he's another PA rapper. I started with him. He was on my first song ever. It was called Ed, Ed, and Edgy because, the Planky. I bring Jericho. He's super talented. Jax, JXS. He was on my biggest song, Black Wings. He's the reason that I have the sound I have today. He inspired me to do all that singing stuff. And Nora Spouse, my manager, he inspired me during some pretty dark times. Back when I first started rapping, taking it more seriously, probably back in 2018. I had a cancer scare, and I was in the hospital, and all I listened to was North Spouse, and now I get to say that he's my manager and stuff. So that's pretty cool, I definitely owe him. I owe him everything too. When I was homeless, he signed me, so I owe him a lot too. And he's an amazing artist, super underrated. So I take him on tour too.
Wow. And honestly, and I know I said it last time, but I'll say it again. You seem like you have an amazing story to tell, and you can definitely see, that a lot of things have opened your eyes, but in a good way.
Absolutely. I'm never angry about where the universe or God or whatever is controlling everything. I'm never angry about where it puts me. I always try to understand that whatever I'm going through is always just a part of the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So that being said, what is one song of your own that means a lot to you?
Ooh, one song of my own. Ugh. That's so hard. These are good questions. This is so hard. Oh man. I'm trying to think of like all around because I have so many. There's one I have right now that's unreleased. Wait, can I do unreleased or does it have to be released?
No, you can do unreleased.
So unreleased, I have this song right now with Python that's going to be on our second collaboration tape called Purgatory 2, just a sequel to our one from last year, Purgatory. And it's just, there's nothing special about the lyrics that make me be like, ooh, like that's so deep. But the melody, the way that I poured my emotion into it was just perfect. The beat was perfect. Like I could float on that beat. Like I start levitating when I hear it. And then the chorus has an Imogene Heap sample for a New Kind of Love where it's like, are you falling in love? How the feeling you are. Like it's just, that's my favorite song I've ever made, and I love that song so much.
Oh, nice. Nice. So if you could work with any artist, living or dead, on an album or a song, who would it be?
Oh man, without a doubt, X.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I can probably agree with you there. I was never like super into him, but like the music I've heard from him, I did like, and I respect him as an artist. So I could definitely see that collab. I think that'd be super cool if you guys like, if you were able to. Obviously you can't, but I think that would be super cool, and I would totally see that being something.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So do you think that your unique flow sets you apart from other rappers? And who are some artists or bands even that influenced your sound today?
Yeah, my flow definitely is different than other rappers. I don't think I always try to explain to my friends who want to get into rapping, they're like, oh, I can't find my flow. And it's like, it just comes to you. It's not something that you work hard. It's just, it's a feeling. You just spit it out and it comes out. I got big into freestyling. So that's why my flow is so like very free. You can almost hear like the freestyle in it. I don't think there's anybody who has a flow like me. There's flows like similar. You can definitely relate melodies. Like, oh, well, this melody, kind of reminds me of this song. But flow wise, there's nobody like me. And then bands and artists that inspired my sound would definitely be on the band aspect. I would definitely say Taking Back Sunday, um, American football, modern baseball, even bands like Black Veil Brides, uh, Hawthorne Heights, more of the Midwest emo sound, definitely. Um, and then artists like rappers and stuff that inspire my sound would be X. X is my biggest one. Um, Acot, he's more underground. Uh, Juice World, you can definitely hear the Juice World influence in like the singing and stuff. Uh, then my influences go back to like Bruno Mars, Lady Gaga, the Rolling Stones, Eddie Van Halen, stuff like that.
Nice. And that's very diverse.
Yeah, I'm like all over the place.
Yeah.
Even hyperpop, like my peers, my friend Avit just dropped their album and SoundCloud themselves posted it. He's actually on the album. He's on track 12 and they just posted him today. His sound is totally unique. It's like more hyperpop based and you can hear that kind of influence on the album on songs like When I'm Gone and Where Everything Went Wrong.
Wow. Yeah, I'll have to check them out like as soon as I'm done here. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm all, I am primarily a rock and metal girl, but like I'll branch out, because I was raised on, Run DMC and Tupac and Biggie and all that. So I still love rap and I still love pop because, I listen to Lady Gaga and Katy Perry and I even like some modern day pop. So I mean, there's really nothing that I have found that I don't like. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any hobbies outside of music?
Ooh, I like to skateboard a little bit. I'm more anxious skateboarding around people because I feel like the skating community is so toxic. I'm not gonna lie there. Like I can't step outside my house with a skateboard without somebody being like, "You're a poser, dude." Like it's like I just want to ride around, man. Just leave me alone.
Right. Yeah, right. Or they're like, "Oh, I bet you can't even ollie," and then you're like, "Dude, like who are you? Like, why do you care?"
Exactly. Like, what does my skills and abilities have any relevancy to right now?
Right. Exactly.
Definitely. Skateboarding. I like video games a bit, but I wouldn't call myself a gamer. I'm on an Xbox 360. I don't have a new console. I've been using this Xbox 360 for the longest time. But I do like to, in my meantime, play stuff like Call of Duty and stuff. So.
Wow, cool. And I mean, I don't know. Video games are kind of better. Stepping outside your house with a skateboard and they're like, "It's not DGK. Get the fuck out of here."
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, dude, just leave me alone, dude. I'm just trying to vibe and skate.
Right.
Yeah, I feel because I used to skate a little bit when I was younger, and I got out of it for the exact reason. I was like, you know what? I've had enough of this. And the best part is when you tell people that you skate, they're like, "No, you don't." I'm like, "What? Come again? What do you mean?"
The thing is with skateboarding, the reason they do it is because they're like, well, we were oppressed for the longest time because people thought we were like bad people, we're druggies, we're stoners. But then you can't even go into the skate community without being oppressed. There's so much misogyny. There's like, I wouldn't even go as far as to say racism, but like, like stuff like that. Like it's so unequal in there. And for people that complain about that, it's like, you're pretty unequal yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So I was just like, you know what? I'm out of here. I've had enough of you posers. So
Exactly.
yeah. So what can we expect from you in the future once life returns to normal?
Ooh, hopefully a tour. Hopefully with all the people that I just listed. That's a goal. Man, yeah, that another album. I'm gonna try making my way up to the Poconos as much as possible because I love the scene there so much. The music scene up in the Poconos is absolutely amazing. I love it here in Delaware, but nothing will ever compare to the Poconos music scene. Like everybody there is so insanely talented. They all help each other out. It's such a close community as where you go to Delaware, all these rappers, they're like, oh yeah, I follow them, but I don't know them. Stuff like that. So I definitely want to make my way back up to the Poconos, do everything that I can community based there. And then my goal is to put Scranton, the whole NEPA area, Hazelton, whatever. I want to make that a hot spot for music. I want that to be kind of like kind of like how New York is. You go to New York, everybody knows New York for having all these big artists. I want that section of PA. I want it to be just like it.
Yeah, and you know what? That would be super cool. I know a friend of mine just opened a new venue up in Dixon City called Stone Stage and Event Room. So he'll be like doing events there and everything, and that's cool. And I'm not sure if you know who Gus the Savage is, but he's a Scranton rapper, and I actually manage him, so I'd love to like get you on a show with him.
Oh, really? Oh, you're his manager?
Yeah, that's me.
That's my boy.
Yeah. Shout out Gus, man. We love you.
For real.
Yeah.
I love Gus.
Yeah. But no, seriously, I'd love to like, get you on a show with him, and it's definitely like you said, because Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Hazelton and Wilkes-Barre in particular though, because everybody hears those names and they automatically think drugs, crime. Yeah. But there's more to it than that. I mean, Scranton has their issues, but Scranton's known because, they have Motionless in White, they have Breaking Ben, they have things they're known for. Wilkes-Barre and Scranton don't really have that. Mm-hmm. So, or I mean Hazelton, I'm sorry. Wilkes-Barre and Hazelton don't really have that. So I feel like that would be super cool, to kind of make it like that general area, like you said, a music hotspot, because people don't realize there's so much more to these communities than just what you see in the media.
Absolutely. But the thing is also, like, I'm not going to be able to be the only artist that does it, like think about like Ian Dior.
Yeah.
Super huge artist, has a whole ton of #1 songs. He's from Corpus Christi, Texas. He's the only artist I could probably name from Corpus Christi. He probably thought, I'm going to put this whole town on. But if you do it alone, you're definitely never going to get it. It has to be a whole scene that just a wave of them. Like when you think about Florida artists, you think about Flo Rida, you think Lil Pump, Smoke Perp, X, Ski Mask, Nora, all these other artists that just come out, and it's a whole scene that just pushes the wave. Mm-hmm. And like there wasn't just one artist, it was the whole scene that just blew up because they all were so like tight and
right. And same with like, the West Coast, they had Snoop, they had Dre, they have NWA, Ice Cube, Ice-T, just to name a couple. And it's like you said, you have to have that entire community behind you. Luckily, I think the Poconos music scene does have that community behind them, be it rappers or country artists or metal or rock or whatever, because, you don't really have to have one genre to put a place on the map. Mm-hmm. And it's like I said, I mean, really, when you think Scranton, you either think The Office or you think Motionless in White or Breaking Ben, and that's it.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I can't even tell you how many times when I came down here, people were like, where are you from? Like Scranton. And they're like, The Office. And I'm like, oh
my God, I know. The one time I met this one band at Work Tour that I was interviewing, and they're like, where are you from? Because I met them at Work Tour. And I was like, I'm from around here. And they said, have you ever seen the Office sign? I was like, oh. And I was like, Dunder Mifflin's not a real place. And they like looked at me like I just massacred their entire family right in front of them.
Oh, every time. I just stopped telling people The Office isn't real. I'm like, yes, I am Dwight. I actually star in the hit television show The Office.
Yeah, right?
You want me to do the middle part for you? Like every time.
Right? Like, I mean, I swear, like that's all we're known for. And there, like I said, there's so much more than that. And I think as a community, we could really, have something popping off, because especially Hazelton, the most famous person to come out of Hazelton is that guy who was in, oh my God, all those Western movies. I can't think of what his name is, Jack Palance or something. He was an actor. Yeah, I don't know. He passed away when I was a kid. I remember my dad told me that like he would go into Walmart and he would see like this like huge famous actor there, and nobody would bother him. So, But the one thing I can say that Hazelton does have is Biddy's daughter went to Penn State Hazelton, so that was pretty cool.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and neither did I. One of my brother's friends had friends that went to Penn State Hazelton. They're like, "Yo, did you know that Biddy's daughter goes here? Apparently, she lives in Stroudsburg." So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's actually pretty cool. But that's even a further thing that we can like Biggie, like that can push the scene, but.
Yeah, I mean, but, seriously, though, like I said, I think that we could really have something great if we just have the right people backing us and we all back each other because it happens everywhere. You know, it happens in Florida, it happens in Texas, happens in New York. You have people that get into competition with each other, and it's not a competition. We're all out here trying to better our community and put our area on the map for something good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep, and you know it's not a popularity contest. Like, okay, you know, you have 30,000 on Facebook and somebody else has 5,000. Like, literally nobody cares. Like, just support each other.
Exactly. I was trying to explain that to Delaware rappers down here because they're far from even like being a scene. And I was like, nah, y'all gotta like work together. Like, you know, producers, support local producers, support other local artists, you know, like squash beefs, dude. Hop on songs with each other, do shows, do whatever you have to do, like form press, blogs, whatever. You guys gotta stop the whole crab in a bucket mentality of climbing over each other to get to the top. Personally, I've never cared about being on the top. My main goal is just to be a puzzle piece. I just want to be the piece that makes the picture whole.
Right, exactly. And in my personal opinion, that's how it should be. You know, because I mean, and I get it, you know, because you have the MGK and Eminem feud. But that's okay because they're like these huge fucking superstars who have made their millions, are from different parts of the country.
Exactly.
You know, they don't have to support each other. But if you're in the same state, the same area, I mean, I'm not saying you should, but really, it would be helpful if you supported the others that were also trying to make it out of there.
Exactly.
And I don't know, I just feel like a lot of people kind of get lost in the bigger picture and they kind of see, oh, well, you know, this person's doing it, but you got to be your own person sometimes.
I've noticed there's a lot of people in the music industry that want to act like industry professionals but have no idea how the industry works.
Right, exactly. And that is super common. And you know what? I fucking went to college for audio engineering, took a class on music business, and I still say that I do not know everything because you don't. The music industry is constantly changing. There's always new trends, always new genres. You know, there's so much to learn, and it's like with anything, you are never finished learning.
Absolutely.
But some people just don't get that. They're like, oh my God, like I worked with this guy. I know everything I need to know. And you're just kind of like, okay.
See, I'm the same way. I try like being on a label and being signed and stuff. Like I do have to have my prices. I can't throw features out for free type.
Right.
So artists, like local artists, hit me up and I feel bad because I have to be like, sorry, dude. Like I tax for features. If you're okay with that, like if you have a budget, I'll work with it. But it's like, even being who I am with like I have a song with Internet Money. I have all these like different connections. Like Nora Spouse himself is my artist. Like Nora Spouse has songs with X, Ski, Global Dan, stuff like that. Like Nora himself is a pretty big artist, and for him to be my manager type stuff and be the one to sign me and have songs with me, it's like I feel like on a level that I should be charging like $500 features type stuff. Even just having that Internet Money song alone and having those kind of connections is like a lot. But I only charge for like $100 maximum, and I work with budgets to at least like $25. That's like, okay, just give me 25 and I'll give you a feature. And like even then, artists just want to be like, no, I'm not paying, because it's like all ego based.
Right.
Because they want to act like they know better than you, or they just feel like, oh well, I shouldn't have to pay you for a feature. Like, okay, then like don't get the feature. I'm gonna still support your music, but like I can't help you there. Like this is a legal contract.
Right, exactly. Like I'm not gonna be mad. Like I'll still support you, but I mean maybe down the ego a little bit, yeah. Yeah, and then you know you have some artists who won't even speak to you, and like they're locals and not signed, they won't even speak to you unless like, you know, it's like for a certain amount of fee, or they're like, this person first, and you're just like, dude, what? Like I mean, again, I'll still support you, but you're just like, what?
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I haven't been to PA in almost half a year now. What is life like up there? How is COVID? How is like, do y'all do shows up there still, or like is that completely gone because of COVID?
Well, we've in the summertime we had like outdoor shows, but they were like socially distanced. Like I know we did like a drive-in show up at the arena, and that was super cool. That was like a stacked line, super dope. But for the most part, we just shows are slowly starting to come back. Like a couple of the bars, they've been having music acts for past couple weeks now, and a lot of them actually have heated patios. So they're still doing outdoor shows, but you're not like freezing to death. I don't know. I feel like, things may be back to somewhat normal by the summertime because our numbers are going down. But I don't know. I mean, personally, I would love to see music come back in the summertime. I mean, even if it's just outdoors again, like I would love that. There's just this entire year now that we've been stuck in this weird limbo type thing. It's just like, I lost like pretty much everything that I do with the exception of, doing it virtually now because I used to go out every weekend. I was somewhere else, Philly, Scranton, this place and that place. We were supposed to go out to Ohio for a weekend and that couldn't happen. So, I'm just kind of hoping that we can kind of get back on track and shows can slowly start to increase their capacity because I did go to a couple local shows at the bars and, the attendance was all right, but you have to order food with your drinks and people, are still scared, but they also don't really want to be inconvenienced by that because a lot of people just want to go and see the band.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's been strange, but I think we're slowly starting to come back. I've been looking on Facebook and I'm seeing a lot of people starting to be okay with booking shows now. Like, just like 2 months ago, like if you booked a show, they were looking at you like you were the fucking Antichrist.
Yeah. I've kind of taken a notice of the spike because I started seeing these shows come back, at least here in Delaware. They started doing shows again. And I was like, what's the spike like? So I looked at the Delaware spike and I noticed Delaware is right back to where it was at the beginning of the pandemic. Like you see it like go like this and then it just drops straight down. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, like if there's no one here that really has COVID anymore, like I can understand that. Like I wouldn't be as quick to be like, we don't care, no mask, blah blah blah.
Right.
Like,
right.
But like I can understand doing a few shows here and there. Like, so I then looked at the Pennsylvania and it was pretty much the same thing where you guys are back to where you were. I'd say probably back in like May or like the beginning towards the pandemic, still with the cases and everything. But I was like, wow, everything seems like it's going pretty much back to normal.
Yeah.
Excuse me for constantly burping. I just ate Chinese before this. It's like messing with my stomach.
That's okay. I'm sorry that like I keep tripping over my words. Like I think it's because I talk so fast and my brain can't catch up.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah, because like I'll just be sitting there and I'll be talking and I'm like, okay, and then I'll say like the complete opposite. I'm like, wait a minute, fuck, that's not right.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But oh my bad.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
So I was looking at that whole overall spike and seeing how things are going back to normal, and then just a few days later after seeing that, Texas with the whole mask thing, and then Mississippi, which I think is pretty stupid, but
great.
Natural selection.
I mean, at that rate, yeah.
But if it's to the point where these people feel safe enough that they can be like, okay, no more masks, then I think going to extremes like that, I think it should be safe enough to say, okay, we can have regulated shows now. So I definitely would love to head back to PA at any time just to, do some shows or something like that.
Hell yeah.
But I didn't know with what the scene was like. I try to keep up as much as possible, but it's hard when, you live in like a whole completely other state.
Yeah, I can definitely imagine, but I know, like I said, as of now, it's only certain bars that are doing shows, and some of them are inside, some of them are outside, and a lot of them, if you talk to any of the bars, a lot of them were booked last year before the restaurants even shut down. So right now, it's really hard to get a show up here, but I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, anything's possible. And plus, there'll be more coming up in the summer, but that would definitely be super cool. And like I said, get you on with GTS, or, even whomever, Ty Souls up here and all those awesome dudes. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that would be super sick. And you know what? I'm pretty sure we're doing the music awards again this year. I know last year it was kind of weird because you were able to be there. Like the venue opened up specially just for the awards and you had the distance. And it was kind of weird because like some of the artists played on separate days and then it was live streamed, but it was great. I mean, they really made do with what they had. So that was super great. And I think we're doing it again this year. So that would even be super cool, like to see you come up for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, hopefully I can catch you at a show in the future. I mean, you know, fingers crossed that, shows come back sometime, before I'm 30. I won't be 30 for like 7 more years, but you get my drift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be in this pandemic for another 7 years. So
Yeah.
hopefully. But no, seriously. And then, we can do a follow-up interview in person because, and I say this to everybody, but I truly mean it. I prefer doing the interviews in person. It's so much easier to guide the conversation. And it's so much easier to get the vibe and then, just kind of like go back and forth like between each other. It's kind of hard to do that virtually because not only do you have the wind whipping outside and banging on my window, but you find that it's kind of hard because you can't really pick up on somebody's vibes through the screen. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So definitely. But keep me in the loop, and I can't wait to hear more stuff from you because I was blown away when you sent me the butterfly effect because as I said, I'm like I like all genres of music, but I typically stay with rock. So when I heard you, I was like, holy shit, like all right, I'll give this kid a chance.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Of course, yeah. And just so you know, like if you want to share this is on Facebook and YouTube.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you just look up 570 Press Northeast PA on YouTube, it'll come right up.
Awesome.
All right, cool. Thanks so much for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.